time, everybody starts coming on really late, you know?
I do know. I know how that goes. Hi, everybody.
Absolutely.
Hi, how you doing?
Good deal. John, are you wanting me to wait a couple minutes then? I would assume.
Yeah, no, as soon as I get enough people on, I usually wait till like 8:31 to give people time.
Great.
Like I said, everybody starts clocking in like around 8:30, 8:31. So,
Okay.
and then I'll make an introduction and then you get going. So just hold it for a few minutes.
Perfect. Good deal.
So Leo, you're going down to the DE?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple of days. It'll be fun. Good to go there and mingle and, learn a few things and share a few things.
I keep telling myself I got to get down there one of these times.
Yeah, I was hoping it could come. It'd be kind of
Where's
cool.
DE this time? Is it
It's
Sarasota?
in Clearwater.
Clearwater. Yeah.
Yeah. So my niece lives in Sarasota, so I was going to fly to Sarasota, see her, take her out to dinner, see a place, and then drive up and hang out,
Drive up.
for the 3 days. Yeah, it should be good.
And make sure you tell all the guys down there we're holding the fort here in New York, you know?
Absolutely. You know what? I hope there's a lot of DE people that are on the call with us. I'm sure like Satilli and Tony Ann, they're probably on the call, right?
They should be getting on the calls, but they're not usually. I mean, I send it to them.
Oh, okay.
Tony Ann knows about it, you know?
Yeah.
We've had both of them as guests. And there's Jeff coming all the way from Montana, unshaven.
How's it going?
How are you, man?
Excellent. Enjoying the negative numbers of temperature out here.
Oh, that's right.
Like this morning, it went up to -8. So
Nice.
Yikes.
So other than Seneca Falls for you can keep that stuff, man.
Mm. That's cool.
I'll be on the slopes tomorrow, one way or the other. I'm going. I came all the way out here, and darn it, I'm going to ski.
You look like you dropped some weight too.
Well, you're only seeing the neck up, so
Oh yeah, I can see it in your face, man. That's why I'm bringing it up.
it's the
Mm.
angle, it's the lighting, it's the room.
Ah,
What mountain's near you right there, Jeff?
I'm in Anaconda, Montana, and there's a resort called Discovery.
Nice.
So never been there. They don't have a lot of snow out here. It's only 25% open. So we'll give it a shot. It's still got to be better than Pennsylvania ice. So
Nice. That's cool.
hey, you guys, I think from this storm that's coming tonight here, you guys are going to get 5 or 6 inches out there
yeah, we'll
in
see.
Pennsylvania.
They last time, we had 2 days later, we had 3 inches of rain and all the snow went away. So
Mhm.
Poconos has been tough.
Well, they're saying if we get snow tonight, it'll be the first time it snowed here in 705 days.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Where's Hecht? Hold on a second. He said he was getting on.
So, Stephanie, have you done many missions?
Yes, that's actually how I met Johnny Mac here. Is actually in Haiti, I believe, what was that? August, I think.
August it was, yeah.
Yeah. So I try to go yearly, but it had been about 2 years previously. That was the last time I had gone, just due to kind of my early couple years in chiropractic. Right from school, it was a little bit it was hard to get away from the office to get out there to Haiti. But yeah, so it was my third one with Johnny here.
That's
All
wonderful.
right, so it's 8:31 by my phone. I'm going to just watch the participants.
Yeah.
I just got a confirmation from a couple of people they're still coming on, but they're getting a little bit late. But anyway, I'm going to introduce Stephanie. This is Dr. Stephanie Masek, a very dynamic young woman I had the pleasure of spending Chiromission with. She practices with Tony Evil, then went into her own practice. And I'm not going to talk numbers, but just say that she lit it up pretty quick in 6 months and got very busy. So, Dr. Stephanie, why don't you share your story with us a little bit?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. This is so cool. It's really an honor to meet you all, even if it's over Zoom. It's 2024, right? We kind of meet each other over screens first, and then we somehow run into each other at seminars or DE or whatever that is. But just wanted to say it's such a pleasure to see all of you and meet all of you. And really, I mean, hopefully eventually get to hear your stories too, because you guys really inspire us, especially this younger generation. I know before I get into my story, just I'm today, it's Monday, just mind blown from what I was able to see today and the joys, the successes, the healing that's happening, but also sometimes the frustration of having cases come from other chiropractors and you're like, what on earth is happening? I thought you saw a chiropractor and they come in and they're like, I never got adjusted. It's like, what is this? So you didn't see a chiropractor. So I kind of I got into chiropractic similar to I think a lot of us, is I had my own health issues. I grew up in a wonderful family. We kind of didn't really get into the health wellness world until I would say maybe my high school years, but I struggled with just chronic illness. I was sick all the time when I was a kiddo. Infections and, strep, mono, all the things there. I started having gut issues in high school, and that progressed to more of that IBS type. I don't like labels personally. I could care less about having that about me. Hormonal issues. I developed psoriasis, anxiety, depression, insomnia, the whole slew of things in college. And I started just developing this interest in like, okay, I do not want to go this route of medications. I tried some of that and it just, we all know it doesn't fix anything. And so I'm so grateful. I feel like it was definitely a divine thing that just gave me the urge, like, no, this is not for you. This is not the path for you. And so I actually kind of went towards chiropractic because I developed an interest in nutrition. And so I started, just searching different things on Google and reading all sorts of blogs, things like that. And I actually didn't experience chiropractic at this point. I had a little bit of chiropractic when I was a child, but I really did not start experiencing true chiropractic care until my last year of chiropractic school. So I went home. I actually started shadowing chiropractors. I found Dr. Josh Axe, his website, kind of a roundabout way because he really doesn't talk too much about chiropractic anymore. But his website actually helped me to really develop a stronger, just concept of what health looks like and just even taking control, making good choices with my nutrition, things like that. And at that point I was like, okay, well, if he does something like this, well, what's his degree? And so I looked into that and saw that he was a chiropractor. So I thought, I'm going to go look into chiropractic if they can work with nutrition. So I started shadowing people. I shadowed about 3, 4, maybe 5 chiropractors in Minnesota. That's where I'm at right now. And all of those chiropractors had not gone to Life University, but they had gone to, Palmer. I think I can't remember where a couple of them went, but they had gone to different schools. And one of the questions I had asked them is where do you recommend I look? Where do you have any insight on that? And every single one of them said you need to go check out Life University. So I did. I booked a flight and I went down to visit the school. And I mean, if any of you, has anyone gone to that school who's on this call?
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of people. So, I mean, they did that kind of weekend event where they, have people get up and speak and just a lot of interaction with current students and professors, things like that. And the stories that were shared just blew my mind. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is everything that I was created to do, kind of like come into one area or one profession calling, I guess you can say. And it just felt so right. And I didn't really have any other answer than that. I just felt like this is the right next step. And so I started school a couple months later and moved down to Atlanta. And from there, I started kind of, going through school, going through the hoops of the hoops of chiropractic school. And at that point, I think it was my 3rd year. That's when I encountered Dr. Tony Ebel and just started learning the communication about the nervous system and subluxation focused chiropractic. In school at Life, we definitely get more of that, I would say, still principled kind of teaching. So I was super grateful to have that to start to really understand, okay, there's more to this than, a bone being out of place or whatever, what have you, like all those different, mechanical points of view, or even just, hey, we're going to move some joints around and make a change in the body like that. it was a really mind-blowing experience. The talk of innate intelligence and all of that. And I come from a very spiritual family too. And so really having that connection to like, I don't know, just the beauty and just complexity of our nervous system and what that really means is it just made complete sense to me. And so, like I said, I met Dr. Tony and I started leading clubs for his program around schools, and that led me to actually do my internship and work for him for a couple years. And at that point, I was kind of starting to heal from my own health issues in school, which was a real blessing because I got to experience what chiropractic care looked like. And to this day, even with my patients, I mean, I'm so grateful to have the experience of honestly being unwell, to being really subluxated, because it just gives me that much more of, let's say, an edge, a really like deep compassion for patients. Also just the confidence when I care plan for them, when I say, I'm not just going to have you come once a week. I'm going to ask you to come daily, or sometimes even more than that, especially initially. And now when I say that, I'm saying that from a perspective of I do not over adjust. I'm very, very fine. Okay, we're just checking you, right? We're checking you. And I need to kind of check you at a higher frequency to ensure that that nervous system stabilizes. So that being said, I worked at Dr. Tony's for about 2 years after that. And that was a really, really intense experience. I don't know if any of you are familiar with his teachings, things like that. And it really is, it was so eye-opening there. I mean, I held people in my arms who were having grand mal seizures, and I learned how to toggle, and we did TRT, we did all sorts of different methods, and I learned so much through them. We actually did a lot of SOT as well. And I know, Johnny, you're familiar with SOT?
Yeah, quite.
Yeah.
I got a quick question. You use the term TRT. Is that tonal release or Tolsky release or something like that?
So a little bit of Tolsky. I've studied a little bit of his stuff in school, but I meant more TRT. Yeah. So I use an integrator at times, depending on the case.
Okay.
So yeah, we used a blend. Honestly, we were dirty mixers, as they say, but with a very, very patient-focused approach. And so depending on the case, whether it be seizures, whether it be autism, whether it be anxiety, ADHD, gut issues, I mean, there are different needs for the case and different needs for that nervous system. And so, I mean, I know we all have a different chiropractic works, right? It works whether you believe in it or not. And it also works like every type of adjusting, right? Every technique works. And so I really prefer to have a blend of modalities. Why did I say that? A blend of tools in my toolbox to use for these different types of cases. And as I'm still such a baby in the profession, but as I learn more and more, every single day, what I'm learning is this tonal aspect of chiropractic care is so essential to have, because people's nervous systems are so shot and so overwhelmed that honestly, some of these bigger adjustments are really, really messing with people. So not to say that I don't manually adjust ever, I do, but I'm finding such a need for just really, really focused, specific care. So that being said, 2 years I was there. I ended up kind of feeling that unsettling feeling of like, okay, I think it's time for me to move forward. And I decided to move home to Minnesota. That's where I'm at now. And I opened my own office, I believe, January 1st of 2023. So I opened, and I really, I don't like to say this, but I didn't know a whole ton about business. I knew a little bit. I knew a lot about marketing. And really just at that point had really worked on using my voice. And so I was teaching constantly. I do use social media. Part of my generation is using social media. I'm grateful that I developed that, because I already had, honestly, 20, 30 patients that
pretty relieved when you got your results.
That had said that they, really wanted to start getting under care whenever I came home. So I kind of just, got up and running right away. And I kind of went more of the $100 startup way, not everybody's preference, but I did that, and I just trusted, and I put my heart into everything I did. I put my heart into every single patient. And I really, really devoted myself to just helping people heal and giving them the space to do that. I think that's a big part of it as well. So I'm about 3 years in. I have a beautiful practice in Shoreview, Minnesota, and I'm super passionate about obviously chiropractic and what that does for people and what that does for us. And I'm also just really passionate about keeping our profession great. And giving people that, I guess, passion back about what we do. It's so much deeper than I think sometimes where people's heads go, right, is just a little bit more the mechanics, and rather it's so much more about the energy and the hope and the healing that happens in that nervous system.
Tell us how that got you, all that took you to go into mission trips.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, at Life, a lot of students were really passionate about service and those service trips. And I've always loved volunteering and, serving with my hands in that way. And so being able to actually, and I've no distaste for people who go on mission trips, without something that they can, directly with their hands, but it felt really good to be able to bring something like chiropractic to people to really help them express from a healthier nervous system state. And again, the reconnection to life that we're able to help people have. And so I think I went on my first trip in my last year of chiropractic school. And it was, oh my goodness, it was eye-opening. It really just took everything that I just said and brought it to a whole nother level of like the magnitude of what we do is so crucial. I mean, and John, from what we saw at the birthing center and things like that, I mean, the things you see on those trips, it's absolutely insane. It's incredible what you see on these trips, babies changing within, like that and one adjustment. And again, these people that may only have one adjustment, they may only be able to see us once, and they're able to make some significant changes through that.
I have to tell you, and we have a celebrity on the call tonight. Dr. Peter Morgan came on because you're here.
What? Is he here? Where is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Say hello, Pete.
I came on a little late because I was hosting a different Zoom call
oh,
for the New York Chiropractic Council. So that one just finished. So the timing was perfect.
I love it. Good to see you.
So what I want to speak testament to Stephanie is I'm really glad when I meet young people like this, because I know that our profession is in good hands. The leadership that I saw her display, and she stepped up and she leads with her heart. And it's amazing how when you basically just pay attention to things, you learn stuff. Her ability to connect heart to heart with people that she can't even speak the same language with was amazing. As you can see from the stuff she talked about tonight, she's had a bit of a magical experience, but she's using it to her advantage. I got a question for you. When you were at Life, is that when Tony brought his whole pediatric experience to Life to get that's part of the accreditation it has, where he teaches it through Life University as well?
That was actually when I was at his clinic already that we then developed the accreditation. Yeah.
Okay. And in his clinic, you said you saw a lot of different type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get the confidence and or training? I mean, you picked up a lot of different techniques. Did you learn them in school? Did you learn them when you were at Tony's place? How did that, because most people don't, people learn a technique and then get stuck there. So
yeah. Oh, I love that question. I have the continued desire to learn, and I think a lot of people get stuck because they're like, nope, this is it. This is easy. We're done. What I find is just I have this openness and desire to, again, if a patient comes in and there's a challenge there, I mean, I call up somebody like you. I call up Dr. Jake from Tony's clinic, and I say, I'm stuck. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help me? Can you help me figure it out? And then you learn something new, and then 5 more of those cases show up. I mean, it's absolutely insane. It makes me laugh every single time. So anyway, in school, I mean, I would say I picked up the basics. I picked up, honestly, the basics in school. I felt confident coming out, but more of what I learned was outside of school. And I think consistent in a lot of professions is.
I can speak to Life because we just had him on here a few weeks ago, Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know he gives you guys quite a bit of pediatric experience and talk about all that stuff. Why did you choose to go into pediatrics? Just curious.
Why did I? I
Yeah.
actually, early in school, this might come off the wrong way. I felt like it was kind of the typical white girl thing to do in school was to go pediatrics and prenatal. I say that all the time, but honestly, that's what I felt like. And I was like, I don't just want to do this because every other woman is going into prenatal and or pediatrics. Like, I want to be sure that that is for me. And what I've realized over time is I truly am not just a pediatric chiropractor. I love pediatrics. I work with pediatrics, but I'm much more pumped. Like I wrote this in my notes of talking to you guys is I want the people that have been forgotten, the people who've been given up on by the medical system, who've tried everything, nothing's worked. They're on their last string of hope. The difficult cases that honestly other chiropractors truthfully around me are not prepared for. And again, I'm a newbie, but I'm willing to work with those cases and I'm more than happy to. So pediatrics, I love kids. I love kids and I love the life that they bring. I love their joy. I love that. I mean, adjusting a kid is a world of difference from adjusting an adult, right? Their nervous systems are just so much more receptive in many ways. So there's just so much beauty in that, especially, and just the power of adjusting a brand new baby, right? You're setting them up for a lifetime of just different function by restoring their nervous system at that kind of early point as well.
Gentlemen, ladies, Dr. Stephanie Masek, any questions, comments, praise?
First of all, I want
Step up,
to
please.
say I'm very impressed with you, Stephanie, and your journey. And I think the fact that you had a tough childhood with all those conditions and it made you realize that, man, I want to get to the bottom of this, but actually it was an opportunity to learn something so you can help humanity. I think every person should be like that as a chiropractor, and I think that's beautiful that you've acted on that. But I'm very interested and excited about what you learned at Tony Ebel's office and all the things that brought you closer to your goal of becoming a better or bigger servant for humanity. So is it a course that he gives on pediatrics? Is it like
right. Yeah, it was really bringing together, again, like all of us, it's our experiences that brought us to this moment right now. I mean, I learned something new yesterday from another chiropractor that I brought in then today, right? Like we're always picking up new information and taking these cases. Everyone is so different. You can't just say, oh, textbook, what do I do for this case? Because their story, their nervous system is completely different than the last person, right?
Right.
So it's always, for me, it's just taking into account, like, I think what has helped me from Tony's is really bringing together the story of that patient, right? From day one, oftentimes even, preconception, prenatal, what went on in that mother's body, and then into, okay, what was birth like? And even for somebody, my age or beyond, like, I don't always go into that. Like, that's not something I'm asking for a 40-year-old woman is what was your birth like? But really taking into account their entire story. Did they run track? Oh, you've got a hip issue, right? Like bringing all of that information together and just really piecing it into this beautiful conglomerate or picture of like what their story is. And then really matching that up with, again, when I say care planning, I think that looks different for all of us, but really matching that with like, what amount of input do we need to give this person's nervous system to really get them enough momentum or to change the pattern of function of this nervous system. So that, but then also, I mean, technique wise, Tony has a strong background in Gonstead. Dr. Jake has a strong background in SOT and Marty Rosen. He really, really values Marty Rosen's stuff. We all adjusted, honestly, very differently, truthfully. And so that's also beauty of the way that they've set up their clinic is we have now, I still say they've got about eight or so chiropractors there now. And again, everyone's at a different stage in their learning and experience as a chiropractor, but also have studied different things. And so bringing it all together, I'm still part of PX, what we teach and what we really highlight is, you can bring in TRT, you can use TRT, you can use SOT, you can use all these different, techniques or approaches to really focus and hone in on the nervous system. And
What Stephanie's talking about, Leo, just to answer your question, because I know that was a specific point you asked there. Pediatricexperience.com or pxdocs.com. So he just has a blog that if you're interested in learning, you can basically read it, watch his videos. But his membership is through PX. It's a couple $100 a month, but basically he basically takes you through the training and everything else.
That's pretty cool.
One way to get,
They also have a great, again, it's not pushing a certain technique. It's more of a framework for how to view a case, especially these complex cases. Like we're getting more and more of those really tough, even pediatric cases nowadays, right? Most kids are coming in and they're really, really struggling and sick. So
you do substations? You do substations?
Substations, yeah.
Scans, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Because speaking to that point, I mean, I've been scanning for 20 years, and the amount of people that the amount of stuff I see on scans nowadays for kids is just ridiculous. Before it was not. It's way worse.
It is, and so honestly, what I learned at Tony's was the confidence to speak to those cases, to know how to address those parents, and to really teach like the severity essentially of like what subluxation does to our nervous systems and to our bodies and to our development, right? And so, it really went into all of that. And I was just going to speak to your question on seminars and things like that. He does have a really good seminar on the neurotonal framework for adjusting. I do highly recommend it. Even if you don't want to be a part of PX, you don't need to. I'm not here to, again, push that on anyone. I don't get paid by them or anything. Just so you know. But it is really helpful, and it's a really good technique that brings together a lot of different pediatric or even just nervous system principled chiropractors, especially a lot of young ones like me, who are coming in and want to change this profession. So it's really helpful.
Is it more like network that he's doing? The tonal?
No, there's a couple network docs within PX, but no, I mean, you can bring in whatever your background is and tune in to the nervous system. So it's not one technique. Yeah.
I got to open that door. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anybody else?
Could you give that website again as to what pdx.com? Was that it?
No, it's pxdocs.com or the pediatricexperience.com.
Okay.
One is for just general, and then the other is specific.
Cool.
And he has some social media pages as well. Anybody else? Jeff, Dave, come on, step up there, boys.
Thank you, Steph, for sharing. It's great to see. I see a lot of myself in your enthusiasm early on in practice. While we all enjoy going to our offices, the energy is different now these days after 37 years for me. But I still enjoy going in and doing what we do. And we need more young chiropractors to attach to your enthusiasm and your knowledge and come along, because one thing in Pennsylvania we've talked about is how if you do demographics of a lot of our small towns around here, a lot of the chiropractors are very close to what most people would consider retirement age. And there needs to be that generational wealth that you pass on to the next round of chiropractors coming through. And we see so many young people graduating, but yet where are they going? Are they just all associating, or are they all becoming part of the joint and being part of franchises? Or are they, getting the word out like we need to about our philosophy and what makes us special and unique? And you're doing a great job with that. And we need more young chiropractors to try to find you somehow and help spread that. Because I know just being around you, they'll catch the fire and they'll want to take it and spread it around their whole town. So thanks for your sharing tonight. I appreciate it.
And just a quick aside, Dr. Wack is now the president of the Pennsylvania Fellowship. Thank you for stepping up there, Jeff.
Congratulations.
Really appreciate the work.
Hey, Jeff.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You go, Dave.
Great job. Jeff said it perfectly. It's so wonderful to see a young doc so excited and passionate about chiropractic like you opened up saying, how many people come to your office and they've been to a chiropractor but haven't been adjusted. We've all heard that, but it's great to hear a young doc get that and get frustrated or just baffled by that. So keep carrying the torch. Thank you.
Dr. Pat.
Thank you so much for sharing tonight. Love your passion for the profession, and keep on keeping on. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Dr. Greg, good to see you tonight, buddy.
Hey, it's great to be here with you. That other call finished up just in time, so I definitely wanted to get on. You know, I always feel conflicted because I miss a lot of these meetings, but it's just great to be here, and I really appreciate you, John, and everything you put on, and looking at all the faces on there. It's good to see Stephanie and everyone else. That's a real great talk, and it's so passionate and so clear. And I just love seeing the young docs getting the message and really sharing the principle and their passion. I always say, I don't care what technique you use, as long as you keep them clear and you have a way to know that they are clear. And it sounds like you've been doing that for quite some time. And you're just head and shoulders to so many other docs above. And so great work, and just love being on these calls. And thanks, Big Mac, for putting all this together.
Dr. Vincent, I haven't seen you in a while. Just you're still screens back. If you could unmute yourself, please.
What's up, guys? Let's see here. Steph, thank you so much. It's just great to, again, like everybody's kind of said, it's just great to feel the youth and feel that energy. Piggybacking on what Jeff said, you know, we really need the young people so much. You know, we talk about like going to new beginnings. We always talk about, oh, we got to get the students, we got to get the young docs. And, you know, when the young docs show up like you did tonight, it gives us more enthusiasm. You know, we go back to our offices tomorrow or Wednesday, whenever we're going back, we're going to have more life in us. And it's just going to help us help our people. So thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate you.
I knew I could count on your information in New Beginnings. I was trying not to. Stephanie, I gave your name to Jim Dubell. He runs New Beginnings. You're going to be hearing from me. He's going to have you come on and speak to the group. So
Yes.
I would love that. I would love that.
I can't wait to
Dr.
meet
Peter
you.
Morgan.
Yeah, well, you know, I had the pleasure of meeting Stephanie when she was a student. So I've seen her over the years now, and yeah, it's just amazing, and how she's helped my organization. She's created videos for me. She's done a lot of great stuff for me and our organization. So it's really nice to see a metamorphosis of a student turning into a great doctor. So Stephanie, we really appreciate you, and keep the future's bright for our profession when we see people like you coming up here and speaking with us. So thank you so much for that.
It's cool.
Dr. Valenti. Joanne, you're still muted. Maybe you can't get on. Dr.
Oh, okay.
Gary. Go ahead, Joanne.
Oh, I was saying, appreciate you coming on and spending time with us and sharing your experiences for the short amount of time that you're practicing. And it's very encouraging to see that you've been well groomed. Thanks so much.
Dr. Gary DiBenedetto.
I'm driving, guys. Steph, awesome
All
job.
righty.
Love seeing the enthusiasm, spiz, and the lifeblood of the profession. And I just love seeing the passion, hearing the passion about serving. And so thank you so much.
Cool.
Excellent. Dr. Bloom. Dr. Bloom. Okay. Here you see Stephanie O'Brien. All righty, I'm going to finish with Nicole. Nicole, unmute yourself.
Geez, I can't believe it took me that long to figure out how to unmute myself. Well, thank you so much. This is my first time getting on one of these. Thank you for the invitation. I love the energy. I'm the executive director of the New York Chiropractic Council. So thank you so much for the invitation. Nice to see some familiar faces. And Stephanie, it was really great listening to you. So I hope to snag you for something that we're doing as well. So we'll keep you busy.
I love it.
Thanks.
Stephanie, I wanted to build you up in some noble thoughts. I know that getting on this is a bit intimidating for most people, but I know you lead from your heart, and I know that basically that's what made you say yes. I really want to thank you for coming on. You know, BJ said you never know how far something you think say or do is going to affect the lives of millions tomorrow. The very fact that you got on tonight and shared the power and energy that you basically live your life with is going to change how we adjust people tomorrow. Because a young doc reminded us that how much information we need to put into that person's nervous system.
And I want to say thank you to you guys, because same thing for me is I know I'm going to go back in tomorrow with even more energy than I had today. So we're seriously so grateful for you guys, because again, you know, it's fun seeing all the youth, and I see a lot of people who speak like me around my age too. So there's way more of us. There really are. They're out there, so I have connection to them, so we can get them.
I'm going to tag you.
Yeah. And honestly, even I just wanted to shout out Dr. Morgan too, because what they're doing with these mission trips is really building people up like me.
And she's changing the world down there, man. Pete's leading the way. He's changing the world.
Yeah, and back here too, because honestly, going on those trips, I mean, I reached out to him, a month or two in advance and said, I need this. I'm ready to go back. And coming back from those trips, I mean, your whole lens is shifted. So I just want to thank him for that, because that's made a huge impact. And again, going off of that, all of you have already made an impact on me, even though I haven't met you in person.
I want to thank you for coming on tonight. We'll definitely stay in contact. And in the meantime, I'll see everybody in 2 weeks. Dr. Mark Romano's coming on. Be prepared to take notes. I wish everybody a good night. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steph.
Thanks,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you again. Good night.
Thanks, John.